Welcome to NFL Daily, where we don't trust ourselves not to honk too much. I'm Gregg Rosenthal. I'm here in the Chris Wesseling podcast studio with Steve Wyche, Colleen Wolfe, and Jourdan Roudrige previewing Week 13. Yes, the games after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And Jourdan, I don't quite trust us not to get out of here in less than 2 hours, so we're putting a clock on every game, only 5 minutes
Greg,
per
weren't
game.
You wearing that yesterday?
Yeah.
Outfit repeater.
Weren't you wearing that yesterday?
It's a little trick of the game. Hey, we got family in. My parents arrived on Monday night, so that was exciting. My brother and his wife are coming, and we're actually going to have the entire family together. We bought a new table that extends out. It'll be the first time that we've all been together for Thanksgiving ever, because the last time was when my son Walker wasn't even born yet. So,
oh wow,
good for you.
Pretty
That's
exciting.
awesome.
How cool!
And I love a sunny Thanksgiving. Like, we're looking at the temperatures.
Yeah,
we were
it's gonna be
saying
cold this weekend.
it's going to be like 30 degrees everywhere.
70.
I was driving into work today. It's in the 70s and sunny, and you can see the snow on the mountains in the distance.
That's my favorite time of year.
That's the combo you want.
That's why we pay the sunshine. It's
All right.
worth it.
It's true.
So we're setting this up. We got 12 games.
Yeah.
They were randomly assigned. Jourdan was upset that she didn't get the Rams, Panthers, but they were randomly assigned.
It's the two teams that shaped my existence.
Okay.
But okay. Yeah.
I got you.
I just went in order, and so everyone got 3 games apiece. And what
Greg.
we're going to do is we're going to start a clock, and we're going to start the discussion with one thing that will blow your mind for each game, and anything that you want to lead off the game. And Jourdan, you're going to lead us off first with Texans and Colts. Probably the best game on Sunday.
Great game.
Colts are favored by 4.5.
Get that number.
But 2 games left between these two teams. What do you got for us? What's going to blow our mind?
Oh, and if you love football, this is for you because Houston's defense is magnificent. It is a work of violent art. It is the thing that I have surprised myself about, and that is one of the things that I look forward to the most about every single week of this season so far, is certainly not to watch their offense, but to watch Houston's defense, all of the cool stuff, of all the cool things that's happening in football right now. This defense is right at the top of the list for me. They're loaded at every single position, but it starts up front. Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter are playing unreal football. They're also getting great pressure and run defense from the inside. They only need a 4-man front to effectively rush, and they're playing a ton of really cool, like, murky zone behind it, which is worrying the hell out of quarterbacks. They're second in points allowed per game, and they allow their opponents to run a successful play on just 38% of their snaps, which is 4th in the NFL. That is the thing that blows my mind, is how good this team has stayed, even with all of its troubles, missing C.J. Stroud's back this week, and also their offense in general.
Got to show it. This is their chance to do it against a great Colts defense. I think it was a big moment for the Texans defense as a brand, and for something that blows your mind, that they actually did get the stop late against the Bills.
Yes.
Not just because it saved their season, but the one thing that's separating them and all-time great, really memorable defenses is actually they have given up the drive at the end of the game a few times this year, to the Broncos, to the Bucs, to the Jags even. That one was tough. But this time they stepped up, and can they do it against the Colts?
I was there that Thursday night, and so that crazy, like, hook and lateral play, as Don Shula would call it, was amazing. And the thing that stood out talking to the Bills players was, like, not only are they athletic and talented, but just the effort is relentless. Like, they don't ever give up. And something I know us strategy heads love, they don't play nickel. They go a true 4-3-4. They got Henry To'oTo'o, Azeez Al-Shire,
Their
and
linebackers
E.J.
are so
Speed, because they can all go.
Yeah.
So that allows them to do delayed blitzes and things like that to really confuse the quarterback. I love Houston and Indiana. In that game last week, they just showed me a little.
Are they ready for a moment like this?
That's exactly like, are they ready? I'm not quite sure. We'll see.
I mean, we're going to find out. And Will Anderson Jr., he's been so good, as you just mentioned, but how they can use him to effectively slow down and sort of bottle up Jonathan Taylor and then make Daniel Jones really rely on the pass. And that, I think, is where the Texans are going to win this game. So then with the Colts having lost to the Chiefs and then losing to the Texans, where would that even put them in the AFC?
Yeah, I think I love that. I love that point because the way that the Colts do play offense actually is a great matchup for them versus one of the NFL's best defenses, because as solid as this group is against the pass, they are more susceptible than the rest of their top 10 defensive counterparts against the explosive pass. And also, unlike their counterparts in the top 5 of these defenses right now, they're the only ones allowing over 4 yards per play on the ground. So every piece of their focus has to be on not getting caught up by an explosive pass play by one of the most explosive passing offenses still in football right now. And also, like you said, Colleen, focusing all of that effort on limiting Jonathan Taylor.
And I love that. Go ahead.
C.J. Stroud better play.
Yeah.
Because if he comes in here and he mucks it up, you're going to hear about some Davis Mills conversation.
Oh, stop.
Oh, my God.
I'm serious.
You're right.
You will. I was down there. You will.
No,
Mills
you will.
Mills played at the perfect level
but you will.
where, of course, C.J. Stroud is going to be an upgrade, but he did
They just
good,
won 3 in a row.
good enough to win. I love that every team, every season is a story. And, we don't know how these two teams' story are going to end. They're going to play each other twice down the stretch. This could be the season that, shows how strong this Texans team are to, bounce all the way back. And it could be or the Colts will really be that team this season. But when I think about these two, coaches who came around at the same time, the Texans, despite how young they are the experienced team. They've been in bigger games in these spots. So if you're going to go win the division, you got to take it from the Texans.
The Jags are lurking, too.
Love it. All right. We didn't even get to the buzzer here. Look at us. Let's go to the Rams and the Cardinals. Rams are favored by 10.5 points in Carolina, and the Rams-Panthers, rather. The Panthers at home, returning after Monday Night Football. Steve, we got some news that Trayvon Merrick suspended for
Cup check.
punching Juwan Jennings in the nether regions.
You just don't do that.
At the end of the game.
And that's a big blow. I initially
literally.
So here's what blows my mind. I initially said this was going to be a much closer game than a 10.5. I thought it was going to be more like a 3-point game just because the Rams are playing at such a high level. To continue that is hard. But the possibility, not only Merrick, who's having a very good season, out, but J.C. Horn had the concussion for the 49ers. If he's out, I'm going to change my blow my mind to Matthew Stafford throwing 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers because he's going 2 scoops to Devontae Adams because they've got something really working. All right, Jourdan, the rest is yours.
She's so excited about this game, too. She sat up really straight in her chair and just was smiling right before.
I recognized I saw my hands were folded. I was like, what the F am I doing right now? It's so fun because Bryce Young has simply got to play better. There was a couple of throws that he made that he could have picked up on the ground with his legs, including that interception in the end zone when he could have scored a touchdown with his legs. I think that this receiver group is going to have such a hard time with the way that the Rams corners are playing right now. Kobe Durant coming off multiple interceptions in the last couple of weeks. Emmanuel Forbes has
how about that?
Very quietly become one of the best perimeter cornerbacks in the NFL this year. And he's playing, he allowed no catches last week, and he's coming down and tackling in space. And when I look at the only thing that Dave Canales can seem to effectively get this offense going with in the pass game is on some of those screens, which you're going to need to do against this pass rush. The way that these corners are coming down and not just tackling in space, but quite literally taking the ball out of the hands of a tight end.
Yeah, they're both small.
Exactly. And so I just think that this Rams defense, and you guys know this, I've been honking about the Matthew Stafford season all before the season, right? But this defense, to me, under Chris Shula, against, and also on the opposite sideline, his former colleague, Ejiro Evero, and Jonathan Cooley's over there. This defense under Chris Shula is one of the biggest stories of the NFL season, in my opinion, because it's all young guys that they drafted and a couple vets that they paid cheap deals.
It's why there's no reason to think this is going to be a good game.
It's not going to be.
The Rams have outscored
it's good
opponents
in my soul.
49-3 in the first quarter. Since their bye week, in the first quarters of games, they've outscored opponents 49-3. There's been like no let up with this team.
It's just hard to keep that up, though. It's hard to sustain.
That's fair. And it's like a 10 a.m. West Coast game on the East Coast.
I have seen Sean McVay take his foot off the gas many a season against inferior.
But this team has been different, to be fair, than any other team.
Like the Rams, there's no way in looking at them and saying, oh, well, maybe the Panthers could get them here, here, or here. They're just like such a complete team, and they are just steamrolling defenses with their passing game. They can also run the ball against the Panthers too. So the Panthers, it's like, okay, their defense can maybe create turnovers here and there. Not against the Rams, though. I mean, against other teams, and that's how they kind of can create momentum with the short fields for Bryce Young. We saw, 3 picks in the first half in the Monday night game. But this is clearly advantage Rams.
And
right.
What the 49ers did to Bryce was what teams are doing to Bryce to make him look small. Right? They were resetting the line of scrimmage so he couldn't step into throws. He doesn't have the arm to wing it, like on arm strength. And just a couple of those, he's seeing his receivers late. If you're watching on YouTube, he's late. This receiver was open for 5 yards. And I don't know why it took him so long to find it. You know where you're supposed to go, 1-2, bang, throw it. He's late right here. And so that was getting into his face and not allowing him, right here in his face, the ball is coming out like, a pop gun. And that's just something, if the Rams, those guys on the inside, Kobe turning those guys, it could be tough.
It could be ugly.
One of the things that I didn't like about the way that Bryce played earlier this week was that he threw that interception with a clear gimme yard pickup on the ground, but he had gotten hit on a run the play before. And so to me, it's like, you're thinking about that. And that's why you're late on the receiver and you're late on deciding that you can just run in this score right now. And so against the Rams, we saw that early in the season against this Texans team too, the Rams defense came out and showed how professional of hitters they are. Yep. And they are physical. And I think that is going to be one of the swing points. The thing that I think the Panthers do have going in their favor is that they have delighted in playing spoiler all season against these teams where that's almost become part of their identity. They can't figure out what the hell they are the rest of the time, but give them a spoiler game and they might just go and do something. And so I think that's where they have an advantage.
Yeah.
The other advantage is I might have cursed Matthew Stafford by writing this week in my column that he should be the MVP because he's thrown no interceptions. So it might be time for a Stafford interception.
Yeah, but this is the game to load up on those numbers. This is a team that can't pressure anyone. And this is generally when the MVP race really starts and Stafford kind of enters the stretch run, the important part, as the favorite.
It's when they run the ball.
Thanks,
Colleen.
Thanks for setting me up on that one there, guys. I appreciate it.
We're excited for your game.
Colleen, you are going to tell us.
Like you're loving this one, Colleen.
What is going to blow your mind between the 49ers and the Browns? The 49ers are on the road, and they're favored by 4.5.
Okay. The quarterback that signed a $265 million contract extension will finish the game with more turnovers than the 5th-round rookie making his second career start.
I love this.
Brock Purdy will have more turnovers than Jourdan Sanders. And
she accepted the assignment. I love it.
Blow your, but I could see this happening. There is absolutely a path for this. The Niners are already on a short week. They're on the road at Cleveland, and they're in the early window. So that's going to be an interesting thing for their body, and just in terms of recovery, it's going to be cold outside. Myles Garrett is going to move all over that line wherever the favorable matchups are, and that's right in front of Colton McKivitz. You have that consistent pressure that is going to force Brock into rushed passes, bad decisions, certain mistakes. And Jourdan Sanders, the big question is, how can he build off of that performance against the Raiders? San Francisco is a much better defense, even with the injuries, than the Raiders.
They're a much better defense with 3 players.
Yes. So, can't stress that enough. But I'd love to see his ability now, because it's not a full-strength Niners defense, which would be, I think, really difficult for Jourdan Sanders. But let's just see even a watered-down, a dialed-back one, which is still extremely good against Shedeur and how he is processing the information and how quickly he can make these decisions and get the ball out. And I wanted to see, I imagine that the Browns in this situation would be more conservative with him in terms of the game plan, Shedeur Sanders. Lean on the run game, use play action to help him sort of read defenses and get just a nice start early and just be conservative with him to kind of protect him from himself.
I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball that well against the Niners defense. They're going to sell out to force him to throw. I mean, I think that, and you saw how sticky of hands they were in the secondary that they have. So I don't think Kevin Stefanski is going to try and be conservative. I think he's going to be like, okay, prove it to us, Shedeur, make some plays. Just the way things have been handled with him. And I think Shedeur is going to be, I think it's going to be up for the challenge.
I think it's a good matchup. The 49ers have no pass rush.
I think it's a good matchup. Not a good pass rush. They've got a good secondary. Their linebackers are playing very well. Right? So, D winners, guys like that. So these are things where they're not going to allow the run. Again, they're going to sell it out, but I think Shedeur is going to be able to make some plays. And for Brock Purdy, 34 degrees, the projected high Sunday.
Oh, God.
That's the interesting side here.
That's like 9 degrees at the stadium.
I think there's a path to the 49ers being dangerous in the playoffs with an elite offense. I think there is a path to them having a top 5 offense. But obviously, Purdy needs to play better. And you cannot run on this Browns team. They're a great defense overall, and you think of Myles Garrett and how they get after the passer, but they are number 1 in DVOA against the ground. It is going to be really difficult, I think, for Christian McCaffrey in this running game, which has been inconsistent but better lately. And so it's a great test for him because it's not like they're going to give up on it, but it's really a great test for Purdy and this protection and whether they can be a complete offense. They're getting close. They haven't quite gotten Pearsall in the mix. I don't think Juwan Jennings is going to get suspended for that punch.
He's the victim.
What?
He's the victim.
I guess so, but he did deliver a punch. We don't know. At this point, he has not been suspended. So what a great matchup when they have the ball.
I agree. I think that this Cleveland defense, I think they're going to force the 49ers to have to try to pass them.
Yeah.
I want to play a game quickly with you guys. How many tackles for loss do you think this Cleveland defense has? Number 1 in the league.
It's got to be high 30s.
Well, no, yeah. Garrett's almost got that on his own.
Tackles for loss. How many?
I have no conception
46.
of what a lot or a little would be.
I don't.
So
think about how much you're thinking and then probably double it. 97.
80.
No way.
97 tackles for loss. The next closest is a tie between the Vikings and Seahawks. It's 75. Still a lot, but 97 tackles for loss. I don't think that they're going to be able to get the run game going the way that Kyle Shanahan wants to.
So Eric has been on record. He likes to hear other voices in the show. It gets a little boring just listening to us all the time. So let's listen to our friend Omar Ruiz. I don't know why I'm taking shots. Let's listen to George Kittle with Omar Ruiz.
You're 8-4 now. You have a game in Cleveland next week, and then you get the bye.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, Myles Garrett is coming for you, man.
The whole interview was great, but that was beautiful.
Great job.
Imagine getting hit
Omar.
by Myles Garrett on a 34. That's best case scenario.
Would you rather?
Degree day. It's going to be probably.
Well, famously, Jordan chose to get tackled by Myles Garrett multiple times in the rest of her life in a Would You Rather over the summer.
Versus being followed by cats
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
I would go for the Cats.
It's a tough
Just
question.
end it quickly.
That's kind of like a
honestly.
one-shot deal.
Just
Exactly.
end it quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Speaking of one-shot deal, let's talk J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. Minnesota at Seattle, minus 10.5. I thought that joke deserved more. That was good.
That was good. That was a great callback.
Yes.
The Seahawks, big-time favorite. The one thing that will blow your mind, and yeah, J.J. McCarthy's not playing in this game, is from our friend Danny Heifetz, who noted that of 852 qualifying quarterbacks this century, J.J. McCarthy was 851 in EPA per play, only ahead of Jamarcus Russell, who had a little more of a sample size.
That's the company you want to keep.
And was dead last if you just boil it down to third round. So that is your third down, rather. That's what's going to blow your mind. I guess in this game, I'm looking forward, I truly am, seeing how Max Brosmer looks against maybe the best defense in football, because there was a lot of love for Brosmer in the preseason, and Kevin O'Connell's made almost everyone look good at quarterback, and so it'll be interesting to compare how Brosmer looks versus what we saw out of J.J. McCarthy?
Almost everyone, with one glaring exception.
I mean, Nick Mullins had some ups and downs. There definitely were some downs in there.
Oh,
as
boy,
well.
does he like to throw interceptions.
Yeah.
Is there a route towards the Vikings with this defense, at least giving them a test?
Sam Darnold threw 4 picks
Okay.
against the Rams. He could throw 4 picks again.
There's a team that will mix up their looks on him.
Yeah, I mean, there is a way. I don't think he's going to do it. And the fact that he threw 4 picks and they were a missed field goal away from still beating the Rams tells me how good of a team Seattle is. But that's the mind blower is if he comes out and throws 4 picks again and the Vikings find a way to capitalize.
Yeah. But also Justin Jefferson, I don't know, against Devin Witherspoon, like that's going to be really tough. I feel like that's going to be fun to watch in general, but it would be really great if there was an accurate ball, like definitely going to Justin Jefferson.
Now, Brosmer can pump it now.
Yeah?
We just have to see if he gets it close to it.
Right, exactly.
We'll see. And Reek Willen, who's been playing well on the outside, he's having a nice contract year. I'm also curious, the Seahawks running game, I mentioned it during that Cardinals game. Did their whole season turn around when they had that 18-play drive where they just ran the ball? And their running game has been pretty good since then. It was good, not great, but decent with Kenneth Walker. He had the highest success rate of any running back in that Rams-Seahawks game. And then last week, they really ran the ball well against the Titans. So this is how you attack the Vikings, is running the ball.
Yeah, and you have to, because of any team, I think, maybe other than the Seahawks, because I think they could do this too against opponents, but of any other team in the league right now, Minnesota is best equipped to simulate the types of pressure that actually affected Sam Darnold previously, which is a lot of, we mentioned it previously, like the simulated stuff, or like these creepers where you have an extra pressure player coming up to the line of scrimmage and also doing so on different delays and timing based on where they're at in the cadence, and showing like they're going to come and rush the quarterback and then dropping quickly and then making
stun up in front of
and then making really cloudy looks when they do drop, and it really worries the quarterback. It certainly has worried Sam Darnold. This is not something you want to see if you're Max Brosmer, who, yes, to your point, on the other side, I think Seattle can get a lot of good pressure against this Vikings front. It sounds like Ryan Kelly might be back this week as well, and they really need some.
Darisaw might be out though. That did not.
But at the center position specifically, when you have a guy in Max Brosmer coming in and making his first start against this Seattle, the best defense in the NFL right now, and you're going to potentially be facing all kinds of similar types of funky pressure.
We should give some background. Max Brosmer, by the way, is a 24-year-old Minnesota product.
Yes.
Who is an undrafted rookie here.
And the coaching staff loves him.
Yeah, he's one of these guys who...
He played at New Hampshire for 5 years before going to Minnesota.
Greg hates him. He's old.
So he's got reps. He's got experience.
No, it's more than New Hampshire. Was Chip Kelly there with him?
He's still like 3 years younger than Bo Nix.
Sure.
What do you think Mike McDonald is doing right now? Just like
him and Leslie.
Sipping broth and laughing.
Yeah, him and Leslie Frazier are sitting back there. Let's not forget Les Frazier's.
Thinking about how he can not go for it on 4th and 2. I see you, Mike McDonald, the last conservative coach in the league.
He's noticing.
I want to see them
quick.
get Rashid Shaheed in the mix. It's been interesting because he is on the field a lot. He's in the backfield sometimes. He's getting some carries. He has not been a part of this offense yet. So
because JSN's just killing it right now. I mean, he's just making so many plays. You keep going to him, but Rashid Shaheed will have some timely plays. That's what he does. I mean, he's Chris Carter. He only scores touchdowns.
Can't top that. That's Steve Wyche, and that's Colleen Wolfe. That's Jourdan Roudrige. This is the 4-pack that is going through each and every game. I like having the clock on it. Just makes you feel a little more alive.
I'm very aware of it. Yes.
It's good. Let's take a break.
He's giving show notes live on the show.
We'll come back and we'll break down the rest of this Week 13 slate.
Yeah.
Back on NFL Daily, it's Thanksgiving week, and maybe the kids are out of school because you know how there's a lot of tours going through. And it's usually adults here at SoFi Stadium. You know, we're right next to it with the NFL Network studios. There's been a lot of tours going through, but this morning I noticed it's been all like kids tours. You guys been waving at them?
Yeah, they're cute. We usually don't get a lot of
Like
kids.
fourth
Colleen made a
graders.
6'7" joke and got
It went
really
over
real
great.
crowd.
It was amazing.
Hello, kids. Real crowd pleaser.
Crowd pleaser.
I'm not embellishing this story at all. I was coming into the studio. There was a tour, and the woman giving the tour points to a picture where the man's face is a little covered. You guys will know who I'm talking about. Don't give it away here. And she says, "Can any of you kids like recognize who this is by the eyes?" And it's just total silence. A bunch of like 8 to 10-year-olds. And then she goes, "I'll give you a hint. He's dating a 24-year-old." And immediately, Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You know what?
Yes.
Our future is safe. We're going to be okay.
Yes.
Oh, the culture is aware.
That is.
This was
my
like if you had told me this
Awesome.
entire story a couple years ago when Belichick's still riding high, I would not have
I mean,
believed
can you
it.
imagine? Can you imagine like
No.
7 Super Bowls? Nah, no.
That's the clue.
Date a 24-year-old.
That's the clue. Oh my god.
I never saw this simulation coming.
I was already past them, and I just started laughing so hard. I was like, I'm so glad I went by at that exact
who was
moment.
the tour guide? Who
Shout
had
out to her.
go
She-
to, like,
There
ask
is
that
a-
question.
She-
There,
did a great
there's a
job.
woman here who does. I catch some of her. Like she has great commentary.
Oh,
I catch
okay.
it sometimes. She should do stand up. Honestly, like she does
Love
a
it.
great job.
Love it.
That's where we are.
Let's talk about one of Bill Belichick's former homes. Yes, the New York Jets.
Your Jets.
There was a moment where he had to resign as HC of the NYJ on a little piece of paper. It was an
paper.
abbreviated,
He didn't have
abbreviated
to.
time.
He just did.
He just did it. Now he's going up against a team where he wanted the job desperately a couple years ago, to the point where his consigliere, Mike Lombardi, has been burying them ever since for not hiring Bill Belichick. It's the Falcons -2.5 at the Jets.
And
Steve.
where an assistant coach is actually hiring members of staff until the owner of the Falcons said, "Yeah, I don't think we do want you." Okay, here's how I'm going to blow your mind. It's going to be a cold weather game, right?
Huh?
The New York Jets, who only have 7 interceptions on the season, are going to get at least 2 against Kirko Chains because Zach Robinson is going to believe so much in Kirko's performance against the Saints that he's going to have him throw it 32-plus times.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens with this organization. They start feeling really good about their quarterback, and they go against everything that analytics and common sense will tell them. Just give it the ball to 7 or 25 in a game like this. But no, Kirko Chains, number 18, he's going to get him back in the hunt. They just saw Tampa Bay lose. They just saw Carolina lose.
Ooh, that's true.
We're in the mix. We got a shot. And the team with only 7 picks is going to near double digits by the time this is over. That's the New York Jets.
There is kind of a path for the Falcons for how bad this division is and the schedule that the
Always
Falcons
there.
are. I don't believe it, but we tried to make a case for a Dolphins path. That's not happening no matter how many games. The Falcons, that division, like 8 wins
Well,
could
with
win
the
it.
Bucs sliding the way that they have been,
Yeah.
absolutely that there is a path for the Falcons. You know, Steve, what might make them sleep at night with the consequences of their own actions, which I fully believe will happen, just like what you're saying, is that they're like, okay, we got everyone to shut up already about the pistol formation. We're putting
Yeah, we
Kirk
got him under
Cousins
center.
in under center,
Which they
for
didn't
all
do
of
last
for
year.
all of 3 plays, and
Yeah.
also in the gun, which he was in the vast majority of his snaps that he did get, only in the pistol 7 times. And so I think that sort of shift. Maybe you're listening to your quarterback a little bit more. Of it's a similar, I guess, spacing alignment, and it similarly does not, unlike the pistol, it does not give you the benefit of just a built-in run fake
Right.
that could happen. So those are the negatives. But clearly, Kirk Cousins was more comfortable in a different alignment than what they sort of had forced this offense into in a box for the last several weeks.
You played pretty well.
Yeah.
Where's Drake
the
Drake
ball.
London in terms of his...
It's so early in the
Got it.
week.
Yeah.
There was some reporting that they're going to be conservative with him, which that does not sound good. And I think it's a sneaky big game for their front office, for their coaching staff.
Every game is a
Yeah.
Every game is big, but losing to the Jets, which is very possible
Yeah.
because I think the Jets are playing better.
Yeah.
And I think,
Brees Hall is playing well.
yeah, Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engström, I think they do have something. They've been talking all year about that Lions season where you start out so slow and at the end of the year they started playing better. I think they're having a version of that here, and they need some wins to buttress that argument. I think this could, they could win this game.
Yeah, and if the Falcons lose this game, I mean, I'm telling you, I know the owner well. the second half of seasons, if there's a slide, he pays incredible attention to that because that's where he's like, there's film on us. If you're not adjusting to it, if you're not fixing the things that we're supposed to fix, that's that. So maybe getting under center helps them, but I just have a feeling they're going to have Kirk O'Chain trying to throw this ball all over the field.
In like a windy, cold stadium.
That the Jets are going to win this?
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
That's what I'm rooting for.
I think they can, and then I think that to you guys' point, that has catastrophic consequences for the staff and the front office.
Oh, yeah.
As well, because I mean, you're starting to see when the narrative shifts and sort of the spotlight columns start circling around, the NFL conversation and columnists like Mike Sando that every owner in the league reads, talking about malpractice at quarterback and what's the next team that's going to falcon in this way. Like that's a big deal to these owners who are paying attention to that.
And for the first time since seriously like 2006, they've got a defense with a pass rush.
I can't believe it still.
Yeah, I know. At what cost?
Right. That's been the supposed one Achilles heel. And now the offense can't score.
The pendulum swings, balance in the universe.
It was like Vic Beasley was the last pass rusher that had done anything.
I'd like to skip over that era and go back to John Abraham.
John Abraham. He was the guy for the Falcons and the
Fair.
Jets. There could be a scenario. I saw Josina Anderson putting out there that teams are interested in Belichick, which I don't totally buy. But if there was one that would take the meeting.
No way.
Speaking of long shots.
They're not bringing that into the.
How about I've been backing Carson Schwarzenegger all year for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now he's a heavy favorite. I do think he's going to win that award. But I think if there was like a dark horse, could Jalen Walker over the last 6 weeks come on strong?
good.
He's up to like 5 or 6 sacks, and he just looks good. He'd have to go on a monster tear.
James Pierce might be playing better than him. The other edge rusher.
The thing that is just such a killer about the narrative of this Falcons season is everything is going so wrong elsewhere. Their plan worked for bookending these two draft picks together. They're playing in such chemistry.
Didn't work by giving away their first round
The Rams
pick.
have 2 first-round picks and may win the Super Bowl.
I mean,
rough.
it's working out.
It's
Who's
okay.
to say
It's okay.
who
It's going to work out for the
benefits
next
from it?
people that work there.
Certainly, I'm not thinking about that.
Colleen, we've got some of the lesser games in this block, but you've
And
got
you're handling
a
it.
banger. No, you've got a banger.
I do.
got a
It's the
banger.
Bills. It's the Steelers. It's in Pittsburgh, and the Bills are favored by 3.5.
Okay, so here is my mind-blowing thing that's going to happen. Danny Smith, who is the Steelers special teams coordinator, he will need extra strength Tylenol for his jaw pain after chewing gum so furiously through the fourth quarter, but that will be secondary to the joy he experiences after a Pittsburgh special teams player scores the deciding touchdown on a blocked kick return.
Wow.
So we're doing
So
this is
specific.
predictions. Okay,
No, it could be however you interpret it.
I do love this because they've got some juice on special
Right?
teams.
Yes.
They do.
Yeah.
It's their defense and special teams.
What did they say? Their kicker's a serial killer? That Mike Tomlin said that earlier this year? Boswell? He said
Yes.
our kicker's a serial killer? I
You
love
know
that
what?
quote.
So that's concerning,
That seems
but-
effective, obviously. But we saw how the offensive line, too, for the Bills completely struggled. And yes, that's part of that is because the Texans defense is so good. But they got to Josh Allen so many times. And this Steelers team, TJ Watt and the pass rush, if they just saw what the Texans did on film, they can do some things. They're a little erratic with it, the way that they can get home, but TJ Watt is a constant. So I think that they're going to be able to rattle Josh Allen a little bit. I would assume that it's on one hand, you could think Josh Allen's coming off this game where he wants to come out and just completely turn the page and ball out. But could that be in his head as well now going into this game because of the matchup?
Well, he's not used to that offensive line struggling. That's
Yeah.
a rarity.
Right.
You know why it struggled? Because his receivers couldn't get open. He had to hold the ball. The Texans did not fear the Bills' wide receivers one bit.
Well, you know who's going to maybe help that, but probably not. The Bills have signed Brandon
Cooks. How about that? He's back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Hasn't he played there before?
That was the
Or no?
contender.
He
I don't
has.
believe.
I'm pretty sure he has.
We have to
Don't
check.
believe I remember a Brandon
But,
Cooks in Buffalo moment.
the one
although
thing
he's bounced around.
When you have a receiver who can take the top off of a defense, that concerns any defensive coordinator. If one thing Brandon Cooks can do is he can go deep. Right.
We'll see. I mean, this is an old version of Brandon Cooks that you're talking about. I mean, this is an older.
And also New England, similar geographic location, but yeah, that was New
He did have a moment.
Patriots, Rams, Saints.
Texans were in there.
Texans.
Cowboys were in there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But so
Saints before too.
Yeah.
It's wild. These teams have struggled. The Bills are 3-4 in their last 7 games. The Steelers are 2-4. And just big picture, it's kind of like, especially for the Bills, like how low are we going to go here in this season? Is it going to be like we're just fighting to make the playoffs, or is it going to be we can actually take this division still because we're only 2 back of the Patriots and they play them again?
I will tell you this. After a Texans game, I spoke to somebody in their front office, and they are concerned.
Yeah.
Like, we have to just get into the playoffs now because they see how New England's schedule lays out. They've got a Week 14 bye, and they understand that they are not playing well in Buffalo. They're beat up, and this wide receiver
I love this game.
Is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because the comments to the opposite were so strong all offseason and have been for a couple of off seasons about not needing to go. But then the actions that they're taking behind the scenes show the opposite, trying to trade for names and that kind of thing. Okay, you guys tell me if I'm crazy because this might be a little crazy, but is this for both teams kind of a sneaky hot seat game at various levels of the organization and certainly coaching staff?
Not sneaky about it. Maybe not the game itself, but if it sends one of them torpedoing, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's enough left, obviously, in the season for both these teams after this game. But, yeah, they are 2 of the best coaches and the best organizations that it's fair to wonder, like, if you don't end up in the playoffs this year, could there be a change? I think in Buffalo especially.
I think Buffalo especially.
Yeah, and I'm curious, too, what's Keon Coleman's status? Like, do we know if he's going to be back in the field with
Does
them?
it matter?
That's a good question. That's a good question because he's clearly not doing the things that they drafted him to do, but then also reportedly missing meetings and those types of things.
But even if he's on the field, does it matter?
I think they would have had him active if they thought it was last week against
if teams go into games like, oh boy, we got to shut down Keon Coleman. I don't think it matters.
I did notice in this last broadcast, and sometimes I look for like sideline dynamics between people and teammates. I noticed that he was sort of like attached at the hip with the quarterback operation and also like whoever had the mics and was trying to warm up Josh Allen between snaps and was really trying to get, he seemed very like, I need to show at you guys on the sideline that I am engaged in this.
Well, good for him.
And I think that's good, but at the same time, to your point, if he was making a difference, he would have been on the field.
Yes.
What was he so busy doing in Buffalo? Like, I mean,
Hopefully, beef on wet.
Come on now.
also, I love Buffalo.
Yeah, it's better. You better mea culpa right now.
But, like, we saw
They're coming for you, Colleen.
They know I love them.
No, I hear you. If you're gonna,
I'm kidding.
if you're gonna, like, be out late one night or whatever, make it in Miami
Or Vegas.
Which has happened. this
Exactly.
year. Yeah.
You will find.
No.
You will find in the cities where there's a lot to do is where the players get into the least trouble. It's where there's not a lot to do that either gets covered up
You got to do it.
or gets exposed.
One of your favorite cities, Miami. Let's go there. Let's talk Saints, Falcons. Saints, Dolphins.
Ooh.
The Dolphins are 6-point favorites. The fact that the Dolphins are favored by 6 points over an NFL team is why Gayle Benson was wrong. It is not ridiculous to consider firing Mickey Loomis. I mean, give me a freaking break. Your organization is this low. That's not the mind-blowing thing, but it's kind of blowing my mind. Here's one thing that blew my mind from the Saints game last week. They had 2 running backs active for that game. One of them got hurt right away, which shouldn't be that shocking, Alvin Kamara. So the other one just had to play the whole game, Devin Neal. And this is like the type of stuff that I'm seeing
Decision. GMs do not determine who
with Kellen Moore, where Kellen Moore is skating a little bit, and just all of it is bad. I think you were going to need a real transformative coach to change and positively impact a tough situation there. And so far, he has not been that coach.
I mean, come on. You can't judge Kellen.
I can.
How?
I can. He
knew coming in that they were not going to be very good. Once Derek Carr retired.
Yeah.
But still show me something. Just show me a little something. What are you all about? What are you? He's giving me Pat Shurmur vibes, which is that we'll forget that he ever was a head coach in like 5 years.
Wow.
Wow.
I think
that's a rough one right there.
Sorry.
I think that when you need a
It's really the Mickey Loomis thing
know.
that drives me crazy.
I thought you were going to say Mickey Loomis because they brought in Justin Tucker for a workout, but you just went
that too.
beyond that.
Let's talk that.
throwing me right
Whoever.
into it. You take it.
Anyone. I'm happy to talk that.
No, you know what? I honestly, when you are an NFL head coach and you are going to a building where there needs to not just be a cultural roster overhaul, a cultural overhaul, you take this job and you are supposed to be about something. You are supposed to emanate a palpable, the kids will call it aura. You're supposed to tone set and be the thermostat of that building. And when you waffle around in front of your local media instead, just similarly to waffling around with some of these like cutesy play calls and some of these types of things, and you're waffling, talking about a person who was accused of sexual misconduct to the point where he was suspended by the league after the league's investigation for 10 games, and you're calling it some stuff, you are not showing me the type of personality, convicted leadership. You can have whatever opinion and background and say you are not speaking with any sort of conviction. Your fan base is listening to you. 1 in 4 women who have been sexually assaulted are listening to you. Show me some culture. Show me something in that building. I haven't seen it. I didn't see it yesterday. I'm noticing.
Yeah,
I did not see it this week, and I have not seen it all season.
So that was him who said that. I saw.
He's been on.
I didn't see.
Like
who said that.
There's one thing of him in
Whoever
front of a
said it,
podium.
completely.
Yeah, the quote here is he was asked about the Justin Tucker tryout, and they ultimately decided not to sign Justin Tucker. But the quote from Kellen Moore was, he's been one of their leaders, talking about Tucker, for an extended period of time on a very successful team. Obviously, there's been some stuff that's been unfortunate. Yeah. He's gone through an experience.
I didn't realize that was Kellen Moore.
He said he's gone through an experience, and I think it's about collecting what that experience was. And I think it's part of a pattern with Moore, to Jourdan's point of not being ready for a moment that matters.
Correct.
That's my overall point. That's my overall point is not being prepared as the person who is the face of the team, hired to be the face of the team, to not be prepared for the moment. Now, you have to hedge, especially if there's legal stuff involved. I understand all the context and the nuance of what this situation was, but you must be prepared to lead in moments where you are being watched, and I am noticing.
And that's the job of a coach, is to plan ahead for any possible situation, any fires that could happen. You need to, and when I'm talking about game planning, that's what you do as a head coach. You visualize the different scenarios and then you plan for them. So if you're not getting the assignment right with these questions, something that absolutely would have been asked when you know that this person has come in and you're not prepared for it, that kind of speaks to me about the overall operation too.
And from the top down, because the defense of the Mickey Loomis, that you shouldn't even consider firing him. In part, this interview she had with Jeff Duncan, she cited multiple things. She cited the Luke Fortner trade. If you're not familiar, a center from the Jaguars that Mickey Loomis did a good job acquiring this year. She also cited the hiring of Sean Payton and Drew Brees. It's like, that's a long time ago. I think if that's what you're citing here, it's from the top down.
Well, to get back to the previous point, though, besides the head coach being prepared, organizationally, you got to buffer your coach. It's not just the head coach. Now, again, Sean Payton, some of these other head coaches would not have gone there. They would, at the very worst, said, I don't bring players in to try out. Talk to the general manager about that. But otherwise, it could just be like, look, we brought him in here. He's not going to be on our team. And leave it at that. To try and justify anyway things like that, the way he did is not very good. So it's a very strong point by you, Jourdan, by just saying, like, there hasn't been significant leadership. But what that also tells me about the way he's coached this year and behaved this year is he feels very comfortable he's going to be there for a while because they know this roster is going to get absolutely cleansed after this.
And,
Good point.
They're the latest team that the Dolphins are favored over, and yes, the Dolphins will be favored in a couple games with a chance to get to 6 and 7.
Playing a little better.
And so good luck. There you go. Colleen's favorite. Everyone check out her clip where she essentially did how do you do, fellow kids, for a few minutes on NFL Network last week.
I just explained 6-7 through the lens of football and the NFL and why it mattered this specific past week.
My son Walker loved it and wanted to personally tell you how much
awesome.
he enjoyed
Thanks,
it. Jourdan,
Spencer.
let's talk Commanders coming off that game overseas in the bye week. They are at home for the Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 6.5. Jaden Daniels is practicing this week, but is not expected to play, according to Dan Quinn.
No way they are playing against the Broncos.
Not against the Broncos. Man,
Sorry, Marcus.
I will say I'm getting a good theme, though, because Gregg's giving me great defensive games, too. Like, I love watching Vance Joseph's defense. I think this is one of the most fun groups in the league to watch. The one big thing that I'm watching, or the thing that I hope blows all of our minds, is the return, potentially, of Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
And, he's been out for a while, and Riley Moss has probably been the most penalized corner in the entire league and trying to just, fight and die on every snap to try to just contain. And the penalties have cost them, where this is still one of the better defenses, and certainly is defending the explosive pass really well, and statistically is still among the top in limiting points, and is not one of the top success rate secondaries in the NFL. They do get one or two of these costly penalties per game that puts them in a very precarious position. And so I think that's my one big thing. My beat colleague in Denver, Nick Kosmider, thinks that Pat Surtain will return this week. Obviously, it's been a situation where he's going from week to week to day, and getting ready to make his return. But that is my major moment that could either blow our minds, or there's going to be a penalty somewhere that will also blow our minds.
And the Commanders' offense should get Terry McLaurin back, it sounds like, finally this week. And they've been up for the challenge, Mariota, considering
I
the
give him
injuries.
a lot of props,
They're a totally respectable offense. The problem is, like, an average offense against this defense is a mismatch. And then on the other side, every offense looks awesome against the Commanders. And Bo Nix, I think, has played better as the season's worn on. He's coming off a bye week. He's coming off what I thought was his best performance of the season against the Chiefs. So you just want them with a real chance to get the 1 seed here at some point down the stretch if they can play consistently on offense.
Well, they're going to be able to run the ball, too. I mean, the one thing Dan Quinn couldn't fix is their edge, their perimeter defense is just. I don't understand why it's so undisciplined. We saw, like, the Bears game. You think about that Monday night game with this off tackle, sweep. They're just gouging. Dan Quinn takes over the play call. Same thing happens. So undisciplined. They decided when they built their front this year, we're going to build it to stop teams on first down. Right? We're not going to necessarily get an edge guy to be able to hold the edge and lock guys up, or get a pass pressure presence. And it has not worked well for them, especially because their linebackers are playing our guy Frankie Louvu out of position, right? He's playing more on the outside, and teams know he's so aggressive, we're going to use his aggressiveness against him. And so that's what Sean Payton's going to do. They're probably going to screen him to death again. Sean Payton loves the screen game more than Andy Reid, but do some stuff like that, and they're going to run the ball. And it's so I'm interested to see if Denver's offense can finally get on track.
Yeah.
This is a game, especially running the ball, and with Bo Nix's dual threat ability, to where they can really get into a rhythm to get things going down the stretch.
Well, especially if the secondary for the Commanders, they're banged up right now. I don't know where the injury report is going to be by the end of the week, but I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, like, this is a spot where Bo Nix should be able to show everyone that he can get into a rhythm. Like, this is a nice spot for him. And if he doesn't show that, then that's kind of a concern.
And these are two quarterbacks, at least the last time they played, were like nails on 3rd and long. Mariota's was amazing in Madrid on 3rd and long. And Nix was pretty great against the Broncos. I think that was an important game for him. One thing we haven't hit on this show, though, is like J.K. Dobbins is not coming back for this Broncos season. And I do think that's an important part of their team. And I am curious if R.J. Harvey, like, can their running game be consistent enough? Because you kind of think Bo Nix needs a running game.
I 100% think that he needs a running game, and I think that steadies him because he can be really erratic sometimes to quarter, and I'd like to see a complete game from him.
I think we got one, by the way. I do think that Chiefs game was a pretty nails game.
That was by far his best game of the season, and really impressive building block, especially the timing of it when it happened. RJ Harvey, it is curious. A lot of teams will come out, out of the bye, and they'll really show what they've decided they're going to be for the rest of the season. And it has to be RJ Harvey. This offensive line is really slept on, I think, is one of the best in football. So you have the tools there. You have a quarterback who obviously is comfortable with deploying and settled within a run game, designed run game, right? And also can move a little bit, too, to help set things up against a defense. And so I think that this has to be, what have you built around and through R.J. Harvey, a guy who Sean Payton was super high on, has remained super high on. Now let's see what you can build for him.
And I think Harvey's going to be fine.
Yeah.
People say like he's not the biggest dude. He ain't the smallest dude either.
I think
he's going to be fine. Yeah.
Sean Payton was.
Yes.
Sean Payton loves a small running back. Like, he loves a short king.
Pierre Thomas, Reggie Bush.
R.J. Harvey, not the biggest dude, but not the smallest dude either. Love that. Let's take one more break, and we will wrap up the Week 13 slate in just a few. Ooh, it's a spicy Monday nighter, despite the records.
It is.
Back on NFL Daily. 4 more games till we release you until the Thanksgiving fields. Actually, Colleen's got to be here Thanksgiving morning.
You're right.
I don't know what those fields are anyways. You must have played some
turkey.
Thanksgiving games back in the day, high school football, no?
No, we never had a Turkey Day game. My school was too new. We didn't have a rival.
Interesting.
Huh.
I was only the 8th graduating class of my high school back in Manchester, Missouri.
Wow.
Where it was so out in the middle of nowhere, we didn't even have lights. We played our games on Saturday afternoon.
That is wild.
How about that? Not quite 8-man football.
I do remember like a snowy Thanksgiving, where we all went out and played football in the snow.
Yeah, same level of skill, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Steve's.
no uniform. I'm saying that's what it's for. Look, the Giants, they've had a bad season.
What?
But they have come together the last few weeks on offense and been fun to watch. And I've got the Giants-Patriots. The Patriots are favored by 7.5. I've noticed that number's gone significantly down, which makes sense to me. I think it started at like 10 or something crazy like that. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind about the Patriots. I've actually got 2. The Patriots, and this is from Tom Curran listening to his podcast, and he went through all the numbers, and I'm boiling it down. They're almost as likely to convert a 3rd and 10 through 15 this season as they are to convert a 3rd and 1 or 2. That's how good Drake May has been on 3rd and long and how bad they have been running the ball. They've been a terrible running team, by the way, all year.
Yes.
It slipped under their track. Here's another one for you. And this is about how teams change during the season. Run defense. Everyone's talking about, their run defense is great. Their run defense is great. Last 3 weeks, not against the greatest teams in the world. It included the Jets and the Bengals. They are dead last in the league in success rate allowed in terms of their running game. So can the Patriots be good enough up front on both sides of the ball to win this game? Forget about even before that. I think to win this game, because you know what the Giants have is a dangerous defensive line and a really good offensive line. It's actually, I think, a top 10 offensive line despite their record. I think it's a tough matchup.
Didn't their defensive line just get gashed?
They stink against the run, but a lot of talent. They do, but that's weakness on weakness.
Weakness on weakness.
They're one of the worst run defenses ever. But you can't say a defensive line with Dexter Lawrence and Carter and Burns are a weakness, at least against the pass. Yeah, okay.
Jameer Gibbs hit him.
It's against the pass. That's fair.
200 plus. They get moved.
I'm just saying this is an opportunity here for the Giants.
It is an opportunity.
It's their Super Bowl.
Jackson Dart could be back, but we don't want to see Jackson Dart. We want to see Jameis.
It's true.
He's so fun.
We want to see
It was
Jameis
so much
in this
fun.
game. Look, this is why I think that's an interesting point, because I've said for New England, their toughest thing is winning the games that now they're supposed to win, so to speak, because they've got the Week 14 bye. Like, just survive until you get there. And I think that's where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think
they're on fumes a little bit.
Yeah,
it feels like.
That Week 14 bye is a killer, man. You see so many of these teams with the Week 14 bye. I think the 49ers on a Week 14 bye, which is why Christian McCaffrey having 800 touches already is insane before getting a breather, how well he's taking care of himself. But if they can get to the bye and get a win here, however they get it, takeaways, whatever, however they get it, they are set up very nicely to not only get into the playoffs, but to win the division, have the 1 seed. Gosh, the playoffs going back through Foxborough. Then
Great.
being able to make some noise.
Truly.
But here's the thing I guess I'm worried about more long-term. They could have Will Campbell, their left tackle, and Jared Wilson, their left guard, back this season. But it sounds like the two of them are going to be out, at least multiple games. Campbell might go
by the bye,
on IR.
The Week 14 bye might be a blessing.
And they haven't had injuries. And Milton Williams, they have not had the same run defense, according to those stats, or pass rush, 4-man pass rush since Milton Williams got hurt.
Yeah, well, your guy. Well, they're all your guys.
I was like, is he? I love him. Yeah,
Everyone,
he has been great.
Colleen didn't want to hear that Milton Williams.
Everyone on that team.
Right?
No, I think that, on the show in previous years, you guys used to always talk about like berserker teams and like who could be potentially so dangerous when you get into the postseason. And the Patriots, to me, are that team. Like you guys have
I thought you were going to say the Giants kind of are late this season.
God, no.
Just
no,
to pop up and win a game like this.
Yeah.
Like they should have last week.
The Giants are a sinking ship in the sense that people keep getting thrown off the side to try to lighten the load a little bit, or at least
Like
stop
Shane
the
Bowen.
Oh, no,
stop
they're
the leaking.
jumping off on their own. Like, thanks.
Yeah, and so we
out.
have to remember, like, Mike Kafka is, and rightfully so, he should be doing this, is just going to go out and try stuff and put good tape out there, and he should. That's absolutely what he should be doing, and trying to figure out how to maximize what he does have and who he still has on this roster. The problem is a team like New England did not necessarily expect to be here this early in their rebuild process, but they have the quarterback, and they overall they made some really good decisions to not only shed previous players, but also bring in, whether by financially or by draft, a new wave, a new era of like culture for Mike Vrabel and roster talent. And I think that when you are earlier than expected, now you shift into take care of the people you're supposed to take care of. And that's a very business-like thing. Vrabel's been through it before. I fully expect that kind of a game from the Patriots.
Yeah, I look at just the Patriots offensive line, though. Like, for me, it's just all about the Patriots offensive line and this Giants pass rush, how that kind of pans out. But then also if the Patriots, their running backs, if they can be effective in this game because of what we were just talking about with the Giants' porous run defense. Like, I don't know. The
Patriots don't beat themselves. I mean, they've gone back to being that team where they're so sound in every aspect. Regardless of how beat up they are, they're going to give themselves a shot.
Yeah.
They have passed all these tests all year against the inferior teams. By the way, just because we missed it, and I was watching that Giants game on Monday, and it was just so much fun. Let's just watch one more Jameis Winston. I'm officially nominating this throw because we didn't mention it. It was the 3rd and 13 throw late in the game, up 3, 3rd and 17 rather, where he gets out of the sack, points to the receiver, and drops a dime down the field to Theo Johnson as a throw of the year nominee. Just to have Jameson.
Look at him get
shake the hit
out of this.
Bump it to his lineman, and then rips it. This is his arm. He didn't step into that. He rips that too, man.
They outplayed the Lions. If it wasn't for the craziest 59-yard field goal, which started in, then went out, and somehow went back in, it was like I don't know what the heck happened. They lost.
It entered a portal.
It reminded me of like a baseball pitch.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back on track. I apologize. I had forgotten about that Winston thing. Wyche, we got the Chargers. We got the Raiders. The Chargers
our producer,
are favored by 10.
Drew, you ready?
Boy.
The Los Angeles Chargers against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers will hold those awesome, now offensive coordinatorless Raiders to fewer than 175 total yards.
I like this.
I like it.
Okay, so now Greg Olsen, got plenty. The dude is the ultimate survivor, man. This guy's coached forever.
Not the broadcaster.
Olsen with 2 O's.
2 O's, so Olsen's going to be calling the plays. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. The Chargers are coming off of a bye. They've got an incredible defense. Tuli Tuipulotu, who we're not talking about, it's got 8 sacks. Khalil Mack has been dominant now that he's back healthy. And the Raiders' offensive line is the worst offensive line I have seen. They are in turnstile protection. They're in turnstile run blocking mode. Like Austin Janty, who I'm a little bit more lukewarm on than a lot of people, has not had an opportunity to run the ball because he's getting the offensive line reset. Geno Smith is as shell-shocked as I've ever seen a veteran quarterback be because he's getting knocked around. And with the smoke that the Chargers are going to bring in this game on him, they're going to heat him up because he's got no receivers.
Wait, Steve, wouldn't you say the offensive line of maybe any position group on the team is like it's the most important how well they're coached?
Yes.
And who is their coach?
Pete Carroll's son is the offensive line coach. He survived. He survived. At least
I rest my case.
At least
Your
week
Honor.
18, at least through week 18, because I do think there are going to be some significant changes there.
Yeah.
Pete's no dope. You can't fire your son. Some things in life are more important.
Not before the holidays.
I'm just saying, like,
Awkward dinner.
if he's going to get fired anyways, you don't fire your son. If you're Pete Carroll, you'd much rather just get fired than fire your son. You got the rest of your life to worry about.
He has been distancing himself, like his own participation in the offense, since the second week of the season when he's up at the lectern talking about how surprised he is
Every week, though, he's
also how we have to run the ball more, and I'm not sure why we're not running the ball more, and we need to do this. And very pointed commentary. You can't separate yourself from someone you share DNA with. That's part of the problem. Come on, guys.
And I don't know why he's saying that he's surprised is actually sounding way worse. Like, yes, even if you are surprised, don't tell anyone that you're
Don't
surprised.
tell
But he
anyone.
says
No one else
every
is
week.
surprised.
He said in the halftime interview. The halftime, I'm surprised
Yeah.
our defense isn't playing. Are you?
Well, I think they thought
they
they
need
would
to get the
be
old-timey
competitive
look.
this year.
I thought they would be competitive.
We fell for it
I did
somewhat.
too. I thought this offense would be way better than it is,
So,
honestly.
and this is a tough matchup because the Chargers have had a trend this year. They have played with their hair on fire at home. Everyone gets on the Chargers home crowd. And they have not been as good on the road at all. They haven't really shown up for these East Coast trips. Well, this is coming off a bye at home. They would love to
Raiders
put it on
game
the
in LA
Raiders.
is kind of a home game too, though. I mean,
Sure, but just getting on a plane has been bad for them for whatever reason this year.
And you know what? I was there in Vegas for that early matchup between the two teams, and I will say that was some of the best defensive football I've seen all year. And yes, we did not know at the time just how bad this Raiders offense was going to be, but the way that those Chargers defenders sat in their zones and Geno Smith was like pressing way too hard to try to make a big play happen. And the entire Dion Henley had an insane flu game. And like the entire talk of the locker rooms after was like, you play this type of zone against Geno right now because Brock Bowers wasn't on the field, and then he was, but one-legged.
Right.
And then there was like the other receivers had not emerged, and he was just pressing, and Janty wasn't running the ball. So it's all the same problems. So I expect the same outcome.
Do you guys remember when Geno Smith was on Quarterback Island?
we do.
1 minute.
We do.
He finished last
Hey,
year.
he got-
Jalen Hurts did not.
Did he get riptided on?
I've got
He did get rip-tided on, and it was referred to as a ripcord incorrectly. And also the rule was incorrect.
shout out to all of us who are getting royalties. The Quarterback Island Season 2, Episode 3 has gone down as one of the most listened to shows we've ever had.
Let's
on
go.
NFL Daily.
my
so
God,
the
that
bonus
makes me
checks
so
are coming
happy.
soon.
Look, I'm proud. Oh my God.
Also, our
That's my
producer,
baby.
Drew, in addition to our producer, Eric, we got multiple producers
Yes.
today.
But only
He's a
one of them's
Raiders
getting
fan.
picked on by Greg.
Yeah, well, he's the only one with a mic. Drew points out 175 yards would not be a season low for the Raiders. They had a 95 yards against the Chiefs. That was the game where I said they should call their offense the I don't even want to be around here anymore offense.
I mean, that means there's like a lot of sacks. Well, they got Geno got sacked 10 times.
I just hate to see
They might get double-digit sacks.
the look
hate
on
that.
Geno's face. It's like a 10,000-yard stare, and the camera, they go real tight on his face, and it's just like I
hate it.
He needs a hug.
I need Geno as like
he wants the right back.
as
Yeah,
like
he
the
does.
backup. I need like the backup to Jared Goff next year. Just put him like on a good organization
Get
where
a
he's
refresh,
a clear
yeah.
backup
Get a
and
refresh, yeah.
finish out the career that way. He is getting up there. I think 36 this year. Jordan, Jacksonville favored 6.5-point favorites in Tennessee, where Cam Ward's coming off a good game.
Yeah, one thing that will blow your mind, it's more of a fact, right? It's 1977, deep in the Nordic country of Finland. The snow falls, but the athletes must train. The members of the Finnish national cross-country skiing team prepare for their most arduous mileage of that week's program, bracing for the bitter cold to hit burning hamstrings, quads, and glutes. A man is at practice that day. He says his name is Professor Seppo Sanya, so sorry. And he wants the athletes to wear a two-piece device that he's recently invented as they ski that day's course. He says it will change their training. It does. This professor founds a company that mass produces the device, and that device changes the world of athletics and casual wellness monitoring forever. And if you are watching the Jacksonville Jaguars play football at any point in the 2025 season, you should be wearing this this professor's device too. It's the heart rate monitor, invented
I thought it was Under Armour.
1977, and its readout during Jacksonville Jaguars games will make you look like you've survived a earthquake.
There you go, I believe it.
This is their win-loss probability chart from just last week, which reflects
Trevor.
what these guys do during these games.
That's the Trevor Lawrence heart rate monitor.
That's what I was thinking about during Monday Night Football, and I feel bad for Troy and Joe because there's been a lot of snoozers on Monday night. And I was thinking, can't we even just get like a Jaguars-Cardinals game?
Right.
You know how fun that would have been on Monday Night Football to watch that game in primetime? Because that was awesome. The Jaguars are delivering there.
I mean, I was like a little. I did to go lone wolf for the Cardinals in that game, so I was a little disappointed. But listen, this is. I don't know how you can keep going like this as a Jags fan. Like, I want to just check on everyone in Duval and make sure that you're okay, because looking at the heart rate monitor, looking at the graph, it's tough. It's been all over the place, and that game was hard to watch, but it was fun. I can't imagine, though, if you're in Duval sitting there watching it.
I'll take that
like every game, though.
I'll take that Trevor Lawrence, though. I liked afterwards where he was like, I don't want it to change the way I played. And I was thinking, yeah, but you don't normally play that way. He had some incredible throws in that game. They also used him as a runner pretty aggressively. I thought they changed, early in the game. They made a point to have him carry the ball. He was scrambling. And every big mistake that he made, he followed it up with some incredible dimes.
That's him.
I need a little bit more of that. I'll take that version, that Jameisified version of Trevor versus the guy I've seen most of the year.
That's the thing, though. You see the flashes.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. He's playing a team this week in Tennessee. We can say all we want about him. They're going to make life hard for them. If you are brave enough to watch a Titans game.
I said this last week,
They are a difficult team, and I've watched them for 3 straight weeks now closely, and it is penalties that take them out of every game. Cam Ward will make a beautiful throw. They'll get a 30-yard gain, and it'll get called back for a hold. Defensively, they'll make a great stop, and they'll have some type of personal foul away from the ball that gives the other team a first down. So this is a team, so that heart rate monitor is going to be just like that again. And, great story. I thought we were going girl with the dragon tattoo when you were trying to pronounce the names.
I love that
I went
movie.
down a real rabbit hole yesterday, guys. Got to tell you.
I love that.
It's some deep research here.
The Jags are one of the teams that are up there, too, in penalties for the season. So maybe maybe that'll cancel each other out.
It's going to be a long game.
Look, watching that Jags receiver group last week, it was like the most that made sense all season because Brenton Strange was back, and he is
makes
awesome.
A difference.
Parker Washington
he's special.
has become a really good player for them. Jacoby Myers fits right in, and you're thinking, this group weirdly makes more sense without Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter on the field. I think Brian Thomas Jr. will be additive when he does come back from his injury, but the crew that they have out there now is working.
I don't know that Liam Cohen agrees with you about Brian Thomas Jr.
Then that's bad coaching.
Well, he's an incredible player. Don't let me not remove any of that from him. But this is a team where all season to start, we've been waiting for them to establish and show what their identity was actually going to be in the passing game. And I said it a couple of weeks ago that I think that, first of all, Jacoby Myers coming in is a huge value add for them because he's a veteran and he knows where to be. And you saw that
incredibly talented.
Yes, and he's running some of the concepts that they're trying to send Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter on, and he was making them come to life very successfully. Ian Rappaport reported last week, I believe, that they still plan to play Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. And I think that's fine, especially when you have this other identity of receivers where you're not going to have to force him into any sort of position.
Parker Washington, though, his sister works on scouting staff for the Chicago Bears.
No way.
Yeah. She's a personnel evaluator for them.
That's cool. Look at that family.
I mean, the Bears could have used him. They should have listened to her. I'm sure she was saying, my bro's good ball player. We're going to wrap up.
She should be on this show because we love confirming our priors.
There we go.
Colleen Wolfe,
Okay.
you've got the Cardinals going to Tampa. Right now, the Bucs are only favored by 3, which I think reflects the uncertainty regarding Baker Mayfield's left shoulder. It's too early to say, but the fact that they keep saying sounds like he's got a decent chance to play unless they're trying to head fake us.
Right, which that I kind of was like, am I getting the head fake here? Because seeing Baker on the sideline in the sling during the game kind of felt a little more serious than being able to come right back. But it is his non-throwing shoulder, though the mechanics of it all play together. So for this game, Bucky Irvin returns for the Bucs to help a one-armed Baker Mayfield fire the cannons. But just as the Bucs look like they're going to end a 3-game losing streak, the Cardinals defense comes up with a huge takeaway, a game-winning scoop and score after Irving puts the ball on the ground.
Oh, no. So specific. We need to write this down.
Are we going to identify the player?
Fourth loss. A fourth loss.
Maybe another Walter Nolan touchdown?
That hasn't come to me yet in the vision. Yeah. But it's and it spoils the return for Bucky Irving, which they've absolutely needed, and they've missed him so much. And he plays really well in this game, I think.
Here's
because
something.
Baker needs to lean on him.
Okay, so here's something. With Carolina losing, Carolina facing the Rams, and there's Carolina's schedule is about to get brutal. Do you go with Teddy Bridgewater with a full week of starters practice in a game like this?
Yeah.
At home, right? The game is at Tampa Bay.
I
mean, Teddy B is more than capable of holding it down. Or because they haven't played well, do you push Baker? Because Baker's going to push himself to play.
Yeah, I think because when Baker is playing well, he elevates this offense as hamstrung as it is with injuries and everything. He's elevated this offense when he's playing well. He hasn't been playing well. Let's be clear on that. But Teddy, this pass rush for Arizona is not going to be the same as what the Rams brought, but it was hard to watch Bridgewater come in and get sort of mauled the way that he was. And this Bucs offensive line, it's very, very good. But again, it's very clear that there's this sort of synchronicity with Baker specifically and some of the things that they do with this offense that it's like, not only will he push to play, but I do think that you just have to roll with him for the rest of the season and try to save your season.
Roll with him as Steve makes an injection motion.
We were covered by videotape.
Yeah. Craig, once again, Greg's blown up the group chat today. He's blown up. No.
Don't you want to save him from himself a little bit though?
He does not want to be saved. He doesn't want to be saved.
Yeah, no player does.
He played poorly through this injury in Cleveland, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. And I want to believe what you're saying in Teddy Bridgewater, but he hasn't played football. Like, he's been on teams, except for last year when he was coaching high school football.
Right.
But he has not actually played any football in the NFL since 2022, and he did not look like the same old Teddy last week.
Let's go to the old thing we were saying when Shedeur came in at the end. He hasn't practiced.
Sure.
He hasn't taken first.
That would help.
All season long.
That's a great point.
That would help.
The thing that I think disappoints me most about the Bucs is because you can understand some of the things that are happening on offense. The quarterback hasn't been playing well, then got injured, and then also they're dealing with injuries everywhere, right? On defense, yes, they have also dealt with injuries throughout the course of this season. They were without their top corner last week, but it's weird. You look at True Media and Next Gen, and they're still ranked so highly statistically until you pull the curtain back a little bit more. And you look at the last few weeks and how susceptible they have been on the ground and through the air to the explosive plays. It is the Bills, the Pats, they could get 20 plus, 10 plus yards runs, 20 plus yards passes, and they were exposed in that way. They can contain the meat and potatoes type of stuff, but they are so vulnerable to explosive run or pass.
The explosive runs is what's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
With Vita Vea and stuff in there. People are moving those guys up front, and they're getting gassed.
Yeah, and they still rank in the top 10.
They don't have to worry about that this week.
But that's where numbers can fool you.
They don't have to worry about that this week. The Cardinals are the most pass-heavy team in the league, and it's not just about getting blown out, because last week was close the whole time, and they were like, we can't run the ball, so we're going to let Jacoby Brissett slang it. One of my favorite plays of the season is actually a play where they dribble the ball in shotgun to Jacoby Brissett. It's a bad snap, and he's backing up with his eyes up. He is such a professional. The ball's on the ground, and he's figuring, I can look. He's trying to watch the pass rush while the ball is rolling into his arms, and he's dribbling, and he eventually gets it up and gets rid of the ball.
You know what that means?
What?
That wasn't the first time he's done it.
I think that's absolutely right. And you know what? He's just giving me great vibes back there. Giving Michael Wilson a chance. Michael Wilson has made himself some money the last couple weeks.
Looks great.
And it's It's almost awkward, how he's having better games than we've ever seen out of Marvin Harrison Jr. Just saying.
What are you saying?
Just saying. It's like, oh,
saying?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's noticing.
Interesting.
He's noticing.
It's on the radar.
Poor Cardinals.
I know.
I know. You look at the NFC standings.
They're 3-8.
Three of the 4 NFC West teams are in the playoffs if the season ended today, and then down at the bottom, it's the Cardinals.
And it's crazy because I don't think there's anybody who says Jonathan Gannon can't coach.
No, he can coach.
No, they're just good enough to get beat. Like in a close, heartbreaking game most weeks. We like confirming our priors. Sometimes it doesn't work out for us. We talked a lot about the Arizona Cardinals this offseason, and we talked about them very positively.
They can still beat the Raiders.
Conceptually, they make so much sense. Still.
I've had 2 people this week who I've just in casual conversation asked them who their team is.
Mm-hmm.
And they both said, oh, I don't really, I love football. I don't really have a specific team. And I'm like, well, you never had a team before, growing up or anything? Well, the Cardinals, they both had the same story. And I'm like, oh, God.
That's what happens.
They bailed.
For you guys.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
You too.
I never even, I bailed so
Arizona
early.
girl.
Yeah.
I bailed back when they were in bleacher seats at Sun Devil Stadium.
I mean, this is what happened when they were the Chicago Cardinals, too. It's the same last name owning the team.
I never attached to them when they were in St. Louis. I was a Vikings guy.
What a time inside the Chris Wesseling podcast studio. We've done it. And I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Love you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there, too.
Have
Get
some
out
pho.
of here.
Have some pho.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any kind of
Faux
soup.
show.
Any kind of soup you want, it'll be good. Soup is good.
I want some of our listeners to go down the rankings and tell us who had the best,
Lobster
draft
bisque.
picks. All of that.
I mean,
by the way,
come on.
we'll be back on NFL Daily. Myself, Will Gavin, and Ollie Connolly wrapping up all the Thanksgiving games and Black Friday that'll go up on Friday evening. We'll see you then. Happy Thanksgiving.